Hi everybody, and welcome to Chem 1310, Introductory Chemistry for Non-Science Majors. I'm really excited to be working with you all this semester. This class is one of my favorite classes to teach because the students in this class tend to come from a huge variety of backgrounds, and you guys bring different perspectives to all of the topics that we cover, and it's just really neat being able to interact with people who are not STEM majors. It's a really good, enjoyable class for me to teach. So I'm really glad that you all are here. And what I'm going to do in this first series of videos is take you through how the course is structured and how I expect you to interact with the course and learn the material this semester. We're going to model it with this welcome module, which is set up very much the same way that our content modules are set up. So stick with me through this welcome module and you'll get a really good feel for how our course is set up and how you can be successful. All of our modules will start with a list of objectives as well as the PowerPoint file for our recorded lectures. This will typically be the very first item in the module. From that first item, you'll be able to see both a list of the objectives and a link to help you download the PowerPoint. So our objectives for this particular module are to figure out how this course works, to distinguish between the primary mode of instructional delivery and additional sources that you can use to learn the material, to look at how you get graded so that you've got an understanding of how the grades are set up, and to talk about our attendance requirements. I'd also like for you to understand the difference between formative and summative assessment. These are words from the education field. And we're going to look at these much more closely in a later section of this welcome module. But it's always good to keep in mind, okay, what's the difference between formative and summative? Is the particular thing I'm doing right now formative or summative? And then also, I'm going to give you all some suggestions for creating a plan for success based on feedback that I got from students in our previous semesters of taking this class online. When you go to Canvas, if you're not really familiar with Canvas, let me just real quickly point out a couple of things that may help you navigate Canvas better. You will always see this list of tools over here on this side, which are within our course. The list of tools that's further to the left is something that goes across Canvas. It's like how you flip from one course to another course. But this group that I just circled will be the tools that appear within our Canvas course. Modules is the way that I plan to deliver all of our content. So when you're looking for something, start off here in the modules section. So for instance, just to give you an example of a module, I copied the resources module here. Within the resources module, the first page gives you a bunch of reference material. This is where you'll find things like the periodic table. There's also a formula sheet for our course. All of those types of things are here under reference material. You can also get our course syllabus and calendar here in that second item. There's also this thing mentioned here, the grade calculator spreadsheet. The Canvas gradebook doesn't line up really well with how I expect to calculate grades for our course. So when you're looking at the Canvas gradebook, the scores that you have on individual items will be accurately recorded there, but the way that Canvas calculates your course average will probably not be right. And so this calculator spreadsheet helps you to figure out what your current average in the course is. There's also pages here that show you resources from previous semesters, the quizzes that I gave in spring 2019, and the exams from the spring of 2019. If you're going to be attending our synchronous Zoom meetings, there's some information here about how to log into Zoom with your Texas State credentials. My meeting is set up so that you have to be a Texas State user in order to join the meeting, so this will take you through that process. If you are in our Monday, Wednesday class, the next one is the Zoom link for that class. If you're in the Tuesday, Thursday section, here's the Zoom link for that. And then last but not least, we've got the Zoom link for office hours. So this is just a brief overview of our resources module. Please take a look at that and poke around in there and see what types of information are available under resources. This is an example of a page from our course calendar. I flipped over to February instead of January because February has all 3 color codes. January only has 2 of them. So the purple meetings, which this is clearly for the Monday, Wednesday section, the purple days are when we're going to have synchronous class meetings, right? That's what this key up at the top is telling us. The Monday, Wednesday section meets at 11. If it was the Tuesday, Thursday section, we'd be meeting at 12:30. There is a topic listed on the calendar for that day. So for Wednesday, February 3rd, we're going to be looking at electron configurations. To get the most out of the synchronous class meeting, you should have viewed the recorded lectures that you will access through our Canvas modules that deal with writing electron configurations before this synchronous class meeting. What I'm going to do on that Wednesday is work through some of the things that tend to trip students up in writing electron configurations, right? I'm not going to present, here's how you write electron configurations. I will expect that you have already viewed the recorded lectures on that material first. And then when you come to class, we're going to work on the things that tend to be the biggest stumbling blocks for students. Notice also that on any given day, I'm indicating what material you should be working on. So the first week of February, you should be looking at Chapter 3. Starting on February 11th, you should be moving over to Chapter 4. So this will be telling you, just helping you keep pace with the course. Now, the coral colored days are the days that lots of stuff is due. That'll be typically when homework is due, as well as the participation problem sets and the quizzes for the chapter. We're going to be talking about all of that sort of stuff later in this lecture series. So just hold on while in a little bit I'll explain what all of those things are. On February 8th, I'm going to hold a review session during our synchronous class meeting. And then on February 9th, you have all day to take the test with Examity, and that actually bleeds over until 11 a.m. on Wednesday. Now, it seems like every time I give a test with Examity, I have 1 or 2 students who run into disaster. Like in the fall, there was a student who was all set and ready to take the Examity test, and then when she pulled out her ID, she only had with her her ACC ID, and it was not what she had used to set up her Examity account. So the Examity did not allow her to take the test. So if you are in some sort of a strange situation like that during your Examity appointment and everything blows up, don't panic. We can do an emergency Zoom testing session the next day at our regularly scheduled class time. But this is really and truly only for weird emergency situations. It's not, oh, I didn't study for the test. I'm not ready to take it on Tuesday, so I'll just say there was an emergency and I'll take it on Wednesday. No, it's not for that situation. There has to be some sort of documentable issue when you tried to take the test with Examity, and I'm going to go watch the video and see what happened before I let you take it on Wednesday. So the blue sections are going to be our exam days. So purple is our synchronous class meetings, coral color is our big due dates, and then blue will be the dates of the exams. Okay, as I mentioned in the previous slide, our primary mode of instructional delivery are asynchronous recorded lectures that you will get through the chapter modules on Canvas. Whoops, I appear to have lost my pen. Where is that? Oh, there it is. Okay, so recorded lectures through the chapter modules on Canvas. Those lectures are there. You just have to go watch them. When you watch them, don't just watch them. Imagine that this is like being in class for a lecture. You should have the PowerPoint slides available to you as I'm going through these lectures. That way you can take notes. When I'm working problems, you can work the problems along with me. You should be interacting with these recorded lectures, not just hitting the play button and then playing with your cat while everything is playing in the background. You can take advantage of the fact that these are recorded lectures and do some amazing things. You can stop the lecture. You can back up for a minute and replay something that didn't make sense. If you're going, whoa, wait a minute, what did she just say? Hit the stop button, drag the bar back just a little bit, and then hit go again. I'll tell you something that saved my butt last summer when I had to do a whole bunch of online trainings was the playback speed. And I should have included in here the captions. So let's say we're going through something and you feel like, oh, I kind of have a pretty good idea what she's talking about already, or yeah, I'm really comfortable with this material. You can increase the playback speed. When you're looking at the YouTube video down in the lower right corner, if you hover with your mouse over the video, you can pull up captions so that the captions for the audio appear, and you can increase that playback speed. So I found with those trainings I had to do last summer that about a 1.5 times playback speed was really good for me for most of the material. And then for the stuff that I really already knew, and it was just totally review stuff for me, if I bumped that up to 2 times the playback speed, I was good. So mess around with the playback speed. See what is the best way for you to watch these lectures. And then here is probably the biggest strength of these recorded lectures. They are available at any time. If it is best for you because your household is quiet and calm at 10 o'clock at night, and that's the best time for you to do these, you can do them at 10 o'clock at night. If it's best for you to get up early and watch these at like 7 o'clock in the morning, they are available anytime you want them. And again, this is our primary mode of instructional delivery. It's these recorded lectures. And I'm going to expect you to already have viewed some of these lectures before we ever get to our synchronous class meetings, right? So the synchronous class meetings are these Zoom meetings that are at our registrar's scheduled time for the class. They're the purple days on the course calendar, and I'm going to keep you for an hour or even less. Typically, or often, I'm going to have about 30 minutes of material scheduled, and these are going to be like problem-solving sessions where you interact with Google Jamboards, or you go into a breakout room and you work problems with a group of students, and then you come back and you present your problems. So you're expected to at least have some feel for how to solve those problems before those Zoom meetings start. Our goal with those Zoom meetings is to work on the things that tend to trip people up. We're trying to use active learning. So this assumption down here is really important. I am assuming that you have already interacted with the course material some before those lectures. So think about these as being like structured office hours. I have some things that I want you to do during the office hours, and then after about 30 minutes are up, we're going to open it up for whatever questions you have. It can be questions about what we did earlier in this class, or it could be something off of the homework or something from the lecture. So that's a great opportunity to interact with me and to interact with your peers in the class.